Hey YouTube, this is Urban Acolyte TV and my name is Prince. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Han Solo in episodes 7 and 8. So spoiler warnings if you haven't seen The Force Awakens or you want to go into episode 8, completely spoiler free. So unless you've stayed away from the internet this week, you probably know that principal photography started for Star Wars episode 8. As a matter of fact, John Boyega received a BAFTA award on Sunday night. And he said that he had to be up at 6 a.m. the next day to begin shooting for episode 8. I just read an article that went out yesterday on the Dork side of the Force, reporting that Harrison Ford's name was not on the list of core cast returning from The Force Awakens. I don't recall if I mentioned this in another video. I could have just posted the article to Facebook or Twitter. But last month, Kathleen Kennedy said that all of the core cast from The Force Awakens would be returning for episode 8. Of course, we know what happened to Han Solo at the end of episode 7 on Starkiller Base. I thought that we might see Han in a flashback scene, but flashbacks aren't really something that Star Wars has done in the past. Well, that's if you don't count the Force visions. Now, apparently there's a rumor circulating that Han could appear as a Force ghost, but I don't think that's going to happen. I had someone ask me to do a video on Force ghosts that I may do later, but basically, being able to preserve your consciousness beyond death is something that is extremely rare. It's not Jedi heaven or Star Wars heaven or anything like that at all. In all honesty, the idea of the Force ghost echoes the idea of the Taoist immortal in Taoism, or the line from the Tao Te Ching that says something along the lines of those who can maintain their center will persist beyond death. See, there's this special kind of training required to preserve one's center, just like there's a special kind of training required to commune with the living force and maintain your consciousness beyond death. Qui-Gon Jinn did not complete his training, and so he's not able to materialize a physical form. Yoda fully learned the technique, and so did Obi-Wan. And technically, I don't see how Anakin would have learned it, chosen one or not, but there needed to be a way to show that Anakin had made a full return to the light side of the Force so that they could end Return of the Jedi on a happy note. So I'm guessing back in 1983, George Lucas probably hadn't fully fleshed out how much of the Taoist elements would serve as source material and how that would play out in the Jedi's understanding of the Force. So no Han Solo Force ghosts. Sorry. I think what we get in The Force Awakens is already pretty special. Think back to A New Hope when Han didn't even believe in the Force at all. When we see him as an older version of himself, he's become a believer. It's all real. All of it. Another thing to consider is Harrison Ford's age. I love the thought of seeing Harrison Ford in the rest of this new trilogy. I mean, his scenes with John Boyega were just flat out awesome. But dude, I mean, Harrison Ford crashed a plane and he broke his leg during the filming. I mean, he's in his 70s at this point, and even though reports are saying that he had a lot of fun on the set shooting The Force Awakens, maybe he just doesn't want to be Han Solo anymore. I mean, maybe Harrison just wants to hang out at home with Callista Flockhart and watch Netflix and chill. So the truth is that Harrison Ford asked that the Han Solo character die during the original trilogy. The whole idea was to take this scoundrel pirate with absolutely no morals, turn him into a person who finally takes up a cause, and then he gets to go out as a hero. I can't actually say how I would have felt if Han Solo died during the Battle of Endor, or if he were still frozen in carbonite somewhere on Tatooine. That's if he managed to survive the carbonite freezing process. Now see, that obviously didn't happen, and I can't think of the last 30 years with no Han Solo. What I can admire is that Han went out in the place of Qui-Gon and in the place of Obi-Wan. So here's something to think about. When Qui-Gon is killed by Darth Maul and Obi-Wan steps up to defeat Maul, we know that Obi-Wan is going to go on and become this great Jedi Master. And when Obi-Wan becomes one with the Force during his fight with Vader, well, Luke witnesses that, and Luke goes on to destroy the Death Star. And Luke spends the next 3 years taking the few lessons that he did learn from Obi-Wan, and he used that to initiate his own training as a Jedi, all on his own. So he was inspired. In the case of Han, we have a person who isn't a Jedi, is not someone that we would consider to be strong with the Force. But Finn and Rey, they both play as the witness to their mentor's death. And that's what Han is. He's the mentor. He's the teacher the same way Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were at certain parts of this story. It'll be amazing to see how the stories of our two main characters, Rey and Finn, unfold from that point. See, we obviously know that Rey is going to receive training as a Jedi from Luke. But as for Finn, well, it'll be interesting to see how Finn develops as a Force-sensitive, charismatic super soldier for the Resistance. So, are you guys bummed about there's no Han Solo moving forward in the story? I think it's important that we remember that Han's death is meaningful within the bigger context of the saga. We only have a small fraction of a bigger story. So we'll have to wait and see how his death impacts not just Rey and Finn, but also Kylo Ren. Also, do you think that the other returning characters will live through the rest of the trilogy, meaning Luke and Leia? But really, that's all I got for this story. I am going to mention that I'm working on a 2-part series on Rey that I hope to have done tomorrow or on Saturday, and it's Thursday when I'm filming this. I'm going to be out of town on Saturday filming something really special as a thank you for helping me get to 10,000 subscribers. So I hope to get those Rey videos posted before I hit the road. I'm going to give you guys a teaser though. I'm going to be looking at evidence that Rey might not be a Skywalker. And I'm not saying that she's not a Skywalker. I'm just playing devil's advocate against the evidence that people are giving for Rey to be Luke's daughter. If this is your first time seeing Urban Acolyte TV, go ahead and subscribe so that you can stay informed when I post new videos. I normally try to post at least 4 videos a week, so the best way to know when I posted something new is, well, to subscribe. And for those of you who have already subscribed, thank you. And be sure to share this video with your friends. If you haven't seen them already, be sure to check out my last video about the possibility of Grand Admiral Thrawn appearing on Star Wars Rebels and possibly in Rogue One. You can also check out this other video where I tackle the theory going around that Supreme Leader Snoke is actually Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels. Make sure to check out the cards in the top right corner of your screen for those links. Just click on the little eye. Well, that's all I got for now. Remember that I love telling you all about Star Wars so that it might change your life the same way it's changed mine. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the Force be with you. Bye.